Hi, friends. We're here. Welcome back to the Honest Edit. Holly with Organized DFW.
And Scarlett with White Space Methods.
So good that you're here. Today we are going to talk about if it's a trend and it's going to help you or if it's just selling to you. And last episode we talked about how chaos and clutter are two different things, and sometimes you just see this pretty bin and you're like, oh, this is what I need. I'm going to go get it. And then it gets home and you're like,
or too many pretty bins.
Or too many.
And then it turns into clutter.
Yes. Yes. So we've all done it. We've all been influenced. We see a beautifully organized pantry and we're like, oh, I just need this style bin or this label or whatever. And so you buy it and you try to copy the system, but it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And that's because...
well, lots of reasons, really. And I think we always come back to this topic because it is just something that is a huge part of what we do in utilizing what we call product, but basically like organizing storage, bins, dividers, certain type of hangers, pull-out drawers, whatever. And it is always fun to watch on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, when another organizer or someone is just really good at organizing and cleaning and they're in their house and they're like, oh, look at this. And they got some fun music and whatever. And you're like, I need that too. Mm-hmm. And you can test it and try it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to function appropriately to either A, how you typically operate, B, your space, or C, just with the amount of stuff that you might have.
Right. Just because it's pretty doesn't mean it doesn't work. You have to actually make something make sense as a system in your home. So trends are really tempting because it makes us feel like we're in control. It makes us feel calm.
Everybody's doing it, so it must work for me.
Right. Yeah. The aesthetic, that whole aesthetic mood vibe that we started going through, like, it's a little after COVID, like everything's beige, everything's this, whatever, the minimal. Yes, it's beautiful, but it doesn't quite work for everybody. So what you're actually buying when you see this and the psychology behind it is that you're buying someone else's lifestyle, someone else's habits and space.
Or just someone else's marketing.
And someone else's marketing.
Somebody wants to sell that product.
Yeah. And so I love a Pinterest, IKEA hacks DIY. I love getting ideas from other places. I always think about what is this going to actually, like, this is a pretty bin, or this is a bin that has 2 dividers. So I could fit 2 categories in this, or I could do, current and then back stock in the back category. But is this really going to work long term? How does it fit in my space? So there's a disconnect there. It's not that you're, it's that you're failing. You're failing because the system doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay. So if you go that route, and I think you nailed it, because it's always a system, habit, space planning problem with when we come into a situation. And for me, I always like to do the product last. Mm-hmm. It's funny because that's one of not number one question, but like one of the handful of questions that I always get is, oh, are you going to bring product with you? Well, first of all, I'm not going to bring product with me because that costs bukus of money and we need to talk budgeting. Mm-hmm. But also, what do you have? What are you keeping? What's staying in the space? Maybe you have too many categories in a space and you take one out, and so I never recommend shopping first and bringing in what might be needed or what's trendy or what's working for everybody else right now until you really identify the problem and the weak points of the space, prioritize what's going to stay and operate, and then space plan. And that's a lot of what we do.
Right.
I know I'm kind of transitioning out of the trends department here, but I think it's really important that whenever we do talk about product to touch on that, because we don't just come in with, a whole bunch of bins and dividers and whatever we really see what has to be in that space. You have to measure stuff and then go from there.
Right.
You know,
just because it's labeled and matching and the lighting's really good doesn't mean that
it'll work.
It actually works. There's actual hands-on work that goes into
methodical
figuring that out. And a lot of the, like, a reminder is that a lot of these things that we see on TikTok and Pinterest and Instagram, they are staged photos. That's why, my stuff isn't staged. It's messy. It is life. We live here with the animals and the kid and all the things.
I'm so glad you said that too, because see, Holly always makes wonderful points. So
well, thank you.
It triggers something. I used to work with an organizer that was so focused on the social media aspect, and it drove me nuts because the client would prefer something a certain way, or the space would be a certain way, or there wasn't enough decluttering, which when there should be, and that should have been addressed. And I get all of that. And that's kind of the, some of the things we have to kind of deal with every day, and we have to make it work. And it might take stages for a client to truly feel comfortable to let go of like all of the stuff. But she would take stuff out of a space and rework it just for that Instagram's post and say, this is going to be fantastic. And I'm like, but that's not real life. It's pretty. And trust me, I love watching them too. And it's soothing. You get the little stacking, the little hands. Yeah. And they're like restocking and they're doing all the things and whatever. That's cool. But it's also just a marketing deal. It's a promotional or production video.
I was at a client's the other day and she's got 3 kitty cats and their litter boxes are in the hallway and she always apologizes for the litter boxes. And I'm like, it's okay. They live here too. Like, organizing can be this really, like, I think that these trends and this, these influencers that some of us have followed, we get into the perfectionism and the, it has to look like this. And, this new beautiful container is going to solve all of your problems. That's not real life. The real life is actually going in and doing the work, decluttering, categorizing, purging, organizing with what you actually have. And so I think bins and different trends that we have going on can be really great if it makes sense. Yeah. So you just don't want to buy something because there's, you're attaching a feeling to it online of like, oh, this could be it. Like the over decanting in the pantries.
That is
you don't even.
For me.
I know.
I don't do that.
We don't do that.
I do it for my pasta and my grains.
Yes,
because we're always in it, and it helps already kind of measure for how much we're cooking.
Right.
So we use the mason jars. But like, unless you have really tight space, like I know you have a cabinet at home and that's practically your pantry. So that would make sense to you and you have to have some patience for it. But for most households, they buy in bulk.
Right.
They're not going to sit there for like 3 hours. There's literally this one broad on Instagram. And I got to tell you, I love her. I love watching her. I love watching her. I'm not going to say the handle because I don't want her to get offended by this. But like to see her take what must seem like 4 hours. Like I'm watching the sun go by in her videos. It's getting like darker in her house.
Yeah.
Okay. As she's decanting in the refrigerator and in the pantry. And it almost seems like when she does a restock, which I think she does, how she puts it, she does a Costco run once a month and buys everything. So her restock is once a month. And I'm like, F's sake. Like that's a lot. She's rolling around with 2 carts. She's clearing out her pantry as if she's an organizer. Like I'm talking like everything comes completely out.
Who has the time for that?
I know.
Oh, the Instagram influencer?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love her. Don't get me wrong.
Love it.
Mad love to her.
Great.
Like I'm serious. Really enjoy her videos. But I'm like, who the fuck has time for that?
She's also been doing it. Every month?
But that's her job.
That's her job. So
it's my job, but I'm not going to come home and clear out my pantry every single time.
No.
I run 2 companies. We do the podcast. I got a full family life. We travel a lot. Like I have my hobbies and activities.
Yeah.
I also like to, sleep every now and then. So there's no way I'm going to clear out my damn pantry every single time.
What is sleep? Side note. Yeah. What is sleep? Okay. So just a minute ago, I was, looking through Scarlett's pantry because I have a sweet tooth and we just ate. But I was like, this is so nice because there's not a ton of stuff in there, and you can. It's everything as well is visible. It's not even like labeled, but it's visible. You can see what it is. There is
Well,
something
the
in there.
drawers are labeled, but I
Yeah,
have clear bins,
yes.
so I don't necessarily have to label. They're clear cut categories. That's why they're not labeled.
And I think sometimes when we start talking about bins and the labeling, you know, the Home Edit came out years ago with the big script labeling that was like all the rage, and everybody needed to redo it, and it didn't work until you had the right label. And now you can go grab them from the Container Store, or we use the P-Touch tape sometimes. And so you would get really specific into your labeling, like macaroni pasta. Well, I ran out of macaroni pasta. What am I going to do? I got to take this label off and put it on
dinners,
or pasta or snack, kid food or whatever. So it doesn't have to be
is that macro organized?
Yeah. It's
organized.
You know, it's micro organized.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Micro organized. And so the aesthetic is over the function. And we talked about that in the last episode. The chaos and the clutter is that it might feel not cluttered because everything is put away, but then you open a door and it's crazy in there because everything's stuffed in there. So just look out for these trends that come and just take a pause for a minute. Call your friendly local organizer. Let's come set up a system for you, and then you can pick your pretty bins.
Yeah.
Or reuse what you have. Some of the times clients are like, I have all these bins and I just want to get rid of them and get new ones. And I'm like, well,
because sometimes they turn into the clutter.
Sometimes and bins are quite expensive these days.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's really nice to spend a little bit more on like a higher end container or a basket that's going to be looked at a long time for like styling purposes. But then the other stuff that's behind the closed door, behind, you know, in the bottom of your bathroom drawer, it can be something less expensive.
Yeah.
Target's got a lot of great stuff now. IKEA's coming out with a lot of great stuff.
I was called boring ones because...
The boring ones. Yeah.
I was called boring ones.
Oh.
Because there's a specific type of bin. It's really inexpensive Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about because that's what you use.
It's the open bins with handles, and they're plastic. And I know not everybody's into plastic, but this is just what we run into 90% of the time. I wish plastic wasn't a thing, trust me. But the wood is just ridiculously expensive. But yeah, it's the bins with a plastic handle. And I got called boring once because I use them all the time. But for me, it's effective in budget. So you can have those kind of handful of pretty bins that are a little bit more expensive that you see or whatever. But then in a drawer or behind a cabinet or in a pantry that's closed off or whatever, you can have an inexpensive bin that's easy to clean and will last you a long time. And, you know, for me, it's not about that. I think we had a whole episode where we ranted about Instagram, but we won't get down that rabbit hole this one. But it's like, to me, it's more important for the system to be in place in the simplicity.
Yes.
Not too complex. I see a lot of these organizers using all these different bins and different sizes. And I'm like, it's too much.
Well, and then if you move or something changes, it doesn't fit. That's why I love those open bins from the Container Store.
Work anywhere
and the shoe bins. I use them all over the place because they can always be used for something different in the house. They have all the sizes. Yes. So it fits. It's aesthetically pleasing. But
you can do the cohesive look because there's a variety of the sizes and colors with not with the shoe bins, but with the bins, the handles.
The open bins.
The open bins with the handles.
So you need to figure out if it's helping you, if it's going to help you, or if it's just selling you. So give it a filter. Before buying it, say, how is this going to make my life easier? Yes. What am I going to put in here? Realistically, am I going to be able to maintain this? Does this match how I already live? Like the best system and the best bin is the one that you're actually going to use. So before you press buy now, really think through where it's going to go and maybe even grab a measuring tape, see if it's going to measure. I hear a lot of stuff from clients. Yes.
Put it in a
Put it in a
folder.
save.
Work on that project first.
Right.
Then go back to it.
Right. Right.
That is the number one thing you should do. Put it in the save folder.
Yeah. So, let's talk about putting it in the save folder and then what to address before you get there. So you've heard this time and time again. We categorize, declutter, purge, and then organize. So reduce what you have before you buy this trend. If you have 30 pairs of shoes at the front door and you're like, oh, this shoe organizer is going to be great for the front door, but it only fits 8 pairs of shoes, you're going to have 5 of those suckers.
Yes.
And then that changes the whole look of it. Yeah. So maybe it's, okay, I'm going to take 25 pairs of shoes. Let's go with the 8 and the 30. I'm going to put those back in my closet. Do you have room for them in your closet? Is there room in there? Is there room in a different closet?
Are you going to walk a certain amount at a certain point during the week or month or whatever and put the ones that you don't use back?
Do we actually need all of those?
Yeah.
Right. What is like really functional for that space? So think about how it makes things easier to reset for you with these trends. Again, get a measuring tape. I've had so many clients call me and say, I bought these organizers from Temu and they're this big.
Yes. And you just read my brain.
And they're supposed to hold toilet paper and they're this tiny.
And you literally just read my brain because we run into that a lot. I think because we buy at Container Stores, because we can go into the store and physically see the item versus even on Amazon. I'm so frustrated with Amazon because same thing.
Yeah.
I can check the measurement. I always keep wherever my tape measure, I think it's on that
right
side.
here.
I have a tape measure. I keep it at my desk. I will pull it out when I'm looking at the measurement and go, okay, it's this long. It's this long. I check the photo, whatever. I get it in and it is considerably smaller. It just absolutely floors me.
And I have stuff that from Amazon that I have saved that is like my tried and true that I'll go to that's a little bit less expensive. So if you have something that like you've been using, that's great. But look out for that because it happens more often than you think. And then it comes in, it's like the day of and we get there and it's not the right size. And so we can't really
we can't finish.
Right. And so
or have to pivot and think too much and that takes time.
Yes.
Yes.
So like the go-to product types that you really need are open bins, easy access. Handles are really great. Drawer dividers. So there's like quick structure without overthinking. Target has these really great ones. They're from Bright Room and it's like a pretty large rectangle, but they have a slide in the middle and there's ones that can get longer.
Yeah.
I love using those for bathrooms, the expandable ones. I love using those for bathrooms because they stack and you can have a backstock and a current in the front. Turntables or like lazy Susans are great because you can move things around and see without having to actually pick things up and jumble through, especially when it's like, I love a lazy Susan for oils and vinegars and sauces in a kitchen. Amazing. Not for spices.
And not for canned goods.
And not for
canned goods. And they're adding all these lazy. I don't know where that came from. I have not even seen that
because
online.
it doesn't work. There's not enough space.
You want to merchandise your canned goods because majority of the time you're not buying like one of corn and one. You're buying like 3 to 6 each.
Especially if you're a Costco person.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are a Costco person, I will say I'm organizing and styling a pantry for the White Rock home tour that's in a couple weeks. And this client she's a mom of 3. She's a Costco mom and she has all of her back stock in her pantry. And so again, I'm going to be styling this for the home tour, but I'm like, we can also make this look a little bit better. So if you're going to be buying in bulk, think about where those are going to go.
Yeah.
I did that the other day. I got black beans. I already had 18 cans of black beans. I don't know why I was on the list because I wasn't paying attention to my skylight. And now I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with these 18 cans of black beans? So really think about where the stuff is going to go and what you bring in. Because today it might look really clear, like, yes, this bin, this system is going to work perfect for here. But then if you go grocery shopping or the season changes and instead of having your rain boots out, you have 13 pairs of sandals out, that's not going to work anymore. So you really need to think through how you're living to make sure that these things really will work for
I feel
you.
like our point is that if you see something cool on social media, it's something cool. Put it in a saved folder, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to buy that item immediately. You really need to take a hot moment and go over, okay, if this was in my space, how would I operate with it? And then double check the measurements, the return policy in case it doesn't work.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if you're getting it in a month, chances are it's coming overseas through customs, and I wouldn't recommend that.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, we kind of dove in and out of between methods and trends and product, and all of those things just really go hand in hand. And for this episode, we just want to reiterate that before just hitting buy now, make sure that it will really work in your space.
And remember, you're being marketed to. People are paying millions of dollars for you to say, oh, I don't have that and I need that, and for you to buy that.
Yeah.
So take a pause for a minute.
And
really
they're
think
wrapping
through
that entire production, that entire video around making that product work. And the thing about us is that we do a lot of trial and error for you. So at that point, it's like you need to do the trial and error for yourself. Start simple too.
It's kind of like just one more thought, because this drives me bananas. It's kind of like the newest skincare, like the needles in the face or the gua sha or whatever. They're using a 22-year-old face for that. Of course, it looks good.
Oh, yes.
You need the little rocker thing that like everybody's been seeing, that like you do your little rocker workout. Yeah, she's 25 and her ass looks great because she hasn't had kids yet. And she's young and she has the time to go to the gym for her to look like that. So they put these beautiful people on, just like they put these beautiful bins and a very beautiful styled and minimal picture. So just think about that. It's like some people like behind this screen, it's like the Wizard of Oz with the marketing and the thing. It's not necessarily what you need.
And we're not just discouraging ongoing shopping and buying product. What we're wanting to emphasize the most is to work in your space first. Follow the method, of what Holly mentioned earlier, of how we use it. And that is just to come in and categorize. And after you categorize, you're basically editing it. You're seeing what's going to go in the space. What are you keeping? What are you not keeping? Then you can space plan.
Right.
Where should this item, high, low, where should this item go, over here, cabinet, out, whatever. And then once you space plan, then you can start thinking about a shopping list, because it's going to be a bit more clear. You have a lot of clarity about exactly what you need. Do I want this on a Lazy Susan? Do I want this on a pull-out drawer? Things like that. And then you'll be able to really be successful with the organization of your space. And that concludes our episode.
Yay. Thanks for joining us, y'all. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.